Okay, so in this video, I will give a rough overview of what's left to do, what are open problems, and yeah, so one could roughly divide up the whole project into the first subpart of like create a good language that's easy to learn, has sensible grammatical structure and also sensible concept, uh, like well-chosen words that are easy to learn also. And then part two, like figure out how to teach that to Orcus without bootstrapping from an existing language, as it's often the case for other languages that get created or so. And yeah, so up till now, I basically didn't use this distinction. I think it makes some sense to just like get into it and see like, okay, how do the whole project to also see that I directly optimize the language for am I actually able to teach that or whatever. But um, yeah, so rough overview of what's left to do. I guess I'm going to try to give you a better, like in case you want to pause the video in a scene where you can roughly read what's written on the whiteboard at least. I'm going to try to make it more visible, but yeah, it's not that great. Sorry about that. Um, in any case, so like, yeah, so the green thing is basically how do we choose words for um our language, like phoneme stuff, how do we want to use the phoneme structure, and then like when do we want to add um new words and what words should be composite words. For example, we could have like um fingers as composite word of like arm and finger type, and then toe could be composite word of leg and finger type or something. And yeah, then though it's not that important for Arcas, obviously, but yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe so. Uh, yeah, and then also generally, like even if we choose new words for stuff instead of making it composite, maybe there are still some similarities or so between other words, and maybe you can have that reflect a bit in the phoneme structure, so it's more natural. Oh yeah, this is the word that for this. This makes total sense. I'm not sure. And possibly one could try to like automate it or like use machine learning with like word embeddings and see like how we can map it onto phoneme structure or so. But I don't know, like maybe not, or like maybe at the very end I would first do it differently, maybe. Um, the red stuff is grammar stuff, roughly. Um, yeah, so past future tenses are stuff that um, like this language doesn't have yet, and we also don't know how to teach yet. Then there's like um, yeah, clarify and formalize parsing structures. So I actually like I sometimes mentioned parsing structure. Oh yeah, it should just be like natural. Like, is this function is this word just a like word without an input, or is it a one place function or a two place function or a three place function or something? But yeah, I don't know. It's like I actually don't have it clean yet or so at all. So for example, most high size is like how do we parse it? Is this like so naturally we would expect like most is a one word function, yeah, like one place function, and then high is a one place function. I mean, high is definitely a one place function, and most takes like this as input and returns the concept it stands for or so. But I'm not really sure whether that's all that accurate. One could also see it like as the most binds more strongly with high first, and then the most high binds with size. And yeah, I don't know. Like this, just like I'm not sure about that yet, but yeah, like the if we would interpret it as like, oh, the most binds first with high, um, and then like returns like a concept that has the similar type as hi, then yeah, then like the way the standard parsing works in the language so far like doesn't work for this like term. And yeah, adverbs are also like, how do we handle those? Like those are sort of modifiers for like, for example, adjectives. And yeah, also like, how do we want to split it up? Do we want to just have adverbs, or like, do we want to split it up further, or I don't know. But like modifiers for adjectives, and then like, okay, so yeah, then we might also need to figure out something about the way stuff is parsed, because like by default, if we just write stuff after, yeah, or I don't know, like, yeah, maybe it's relatively easy to figure out, but maybe not. I don't know. I still need to think about it. Just yeah, haven't tackled adverbs at all yet. We need to think how to integrate stuff like that. And yeah, then on the right side, there are all sorts of words where one could try to, like just examples. There are way more words, and there's probably way more in general that I haven't wrote down here. That's left to do. But here are some example words where one could try to figure out, how can I teach this word without like, um, yeah, without having another language where I can say, oh yeah, this means want in my new language or so. And yeah, so I don't know, to start with, what might not be super hard is probably say, uh, time and duration, pronouns, maybe also see, I'm not sure. Um, and yeah, the other not that everything else is necessarily very hard, but yeah. So for example, this batch is sort of like concepts that are useful for being able to later bootstrap um, the language by just using like being able to define new words by just saying what they mean, and also like making examples for them without needing to construct images or so and show what they mean. So yeah, we want to get to that level where we can teach most new words like interactively without needing to prepare like uh, slides and lots of examples or so with images. Um, yeah, I don't know. I hope you can sort of uh, read it. Yeah, if means if and only if. I mean, we briefly covered Boolean algebra, but and we can construct it from there, but it's not quite clear whether this is all like yeah, like I haven't really checked whether it's really naturally adaptable to like how to use it in language and stuff. And yeah, um, gerunds is something that exists in English. I'm not sure whether it exists in most languages. So we can also think whether we want that. And yeah, like how to like what prepositions do we want for like different times, different locations, and yep. So oh yeah, and then there's typing. So I don't know about that yet. Like I guess yeah, yeah. Maybe I should not make it super complicated and just start with the like yeah. I guess I will just try to like um proceed quickly, and then I might not get the perfect language yet. But like, what would be sort of nice if we actually have like nice type signatures of like what words take what types as input or so, what are like natural boundaries for lexical categories or so, where then we have like different types for like, oh, this is a preposition, this is a verb, this is like adverb of type modifying a word, or yeah, different stuff like that. And yeah, um, I don't know. I guess there's still quite a lot of stuff I need to study. I think many people who know linguistics well might have better um, understanding of how one might like go about creating a good language, or I don't know. like probably not all, like parts of understanding that are relevant. Like I looked very briefly, roughly into um, Laushban, Esperanto, and Toki Pona, and yeah, like there's definitely nice stuff in there, and I need to look more deeply into it, but there doesn't seem to be like a that great constructed language yet. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's hard. Okay. Okay, so I probably forgot a lot of other stuff, but one thing I forgot that's of course important for grammar is like determiners and articles, where I'm not quite sure how we want to use that or if we want articles at all or something. And yeah, if you want to help me in creating this like project, including like figuring out what phonemes to use for the Orca language, which both humans and orcas can sort of learn to vocalize pretty well, or figuring out what words to use for the language, or figuring out the grammar, or most of all, perhaps figuring out how to teach other important concepts, um, then reach out to me. And yes, like probably if you're watching this, I shared this video with you. But if I post it on Less Wrong and you saw it from there, then reach out to me on Less Wrong, and otherwise just post in the comments and we find a way to connect. Um, yeah, so this is the last video for now. Again, everything very preliminary thoughts. Yeah, so hmm. Okay, yeah, so I might upload another quick bonus video on like my current confused thoughts on determiners or so, but it's not going to be great. And yeah, also I might in a few days or so create a rough tacit knowledge video on how I do this research or how I think about how to um, teach concepts or something. I don't know yet. I don't have good methodology yet. I'm just like, but yeah, maybe I can get something across. We'll see.